You, go sit. Go sit in the middle. Thank you, Maddie. Good morning, everybody. We're glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation or gender identity, you are welcome to worship here and become part of this community. I apologize, I'm a little congested today, so I probably sound a little off and I might sniffle, I may even sneeze. But I don't have a fever, so I think it's just like a little cold, but I won't hug anybody, I promise. Some brief announcements before we get started. First of all, can you hear me okay? Because I can't hear anything, so I'm just blocked up. The big announcement is the chocolate auction is next Sunday, and we lost a week of announcements and preparation because of the snow. Most of you know the drill, but for those of you who are newer, the chocolate auction is a live bidding auction of baked goods and other treats. The only requirement is it has to have chocolate in it. We encourage donations, so if you like to cook or bake, please bake a bunch of stuff, drop it off. There are little cards in the back that Erin will hand out to people who are interested. You have to put what the thing is and a very detailed list of ingredients because there's a lot of food allergies and people need to know what's in the food so they can make good decisions. Additionally, UU Weymouth is having a chocolate auction on the same day, and they haven't been able to do one for years because their congregation has been too small. But they finally have grown enough that Reverend Barbara feels comfortable doing one. But I told her that we would donate some stuff to it because they don't have as many bakers. So if you are baking for Channing and you are willing and able, if you could bake one extra thing, it doesn't have to be big or intricate or crazy, but if you could bake one extra thing, drop it off here Saturday night between 5 and 6. I'm going to come pick them up at 6 and bring them to Barbara's house. So hopefully it'll make it a little easier if we just bundle it all together. Am I missing anything, Erin? Yep. Yeah, we need to keep it short so people can get home. Yes. Yes, bring all the things. I'll have a table labeled Weymouth, so you put your one thing for Weymouth there, and then the rest of the stuff with the Channing stuff. If you're not baking for Weymouth, you can't make it Saturday evening for drop-off, and you need to bring it Sunday morning. please bring it before 10 because it is very disruptive when people are dropping things off while service is going on. And it's tough for Deb and Aaron and the other helpers because they don't get to enjoy the service because they're dealing with the drop off. So please try to get here a little bit early and drop it off early, but Saturday night's even better. And you'll get a very comprehensive email with all of the above this week, so don't worry. Any other announcements?
We got 9 new chickens this summer, and they all started laying this fall. So unusual for winter, we are overflowing with eggs. I brought some eggs, they're in that black bag there. I'll take up to $5 in exchange for eggs. I'll also take barter or so there's 6 dozen eggs in there. So please take my eggs. And if you do want to give me cash, there's an envelope there, and the money will go towards feeding the chickens.
Speaking of eggs, Matt, I have your dozen in the back of my car. And Deb, I have your Girl Scout cookies in the back of my car. And Denise, I have your equal exchange order in the back of my car. So don't let me leave here without giving you your stuff. Any other announcements? Okay. If the kid, yes. Yes, there's a prudential meeting after this. It should be short. If the kids want to, they could sit in the middle and color. They're going to have an activity later. If they don't want to, that's totally fine. But if they get wiggly and bored, there's coloring books and crayons. So this is a very kid-friendly service. All right, last call for announcements. All right. So I have to start service today with an apology. At our Christmas Eve service, I said that today I would talk about the evolution of worship from natural forces to gods and then to human deities. So if you came here for that, I am very sorry. I will do that service at some point, but given the state of things in America, I felt compelled to change course a little bit today. So today, if you follow the Wheel of the Year, we are celebrating Imbolc, which is technically starts at sunset tonight and into tomorrow. It's the time of year where we observe the transition from winter to spring. The spring thaw hasn't started just yet, and it looks like it might never come, but it will. It doesn't feel like it, but it will. And in the meantime, we just have to deal with more snow, more cold weather, and more ice. This year, I feel like winter is a little extra tough, not just because it has been unusually cold, even for New England, and extra snowy. We also have to deal with a different kind of ice, the immigration enforcement, bringing fear and violence into communities across the country. My mother is the daughter of immigrants. Her father was from the Canary Islands, which is part of Spain, and her mother was from Cuba. They spoke with the same accents that ICE agents today consider probable cause for detaining people. I have living relatives who are immigrants who speak with those same accents, and friends too. My kids go to school with their kids. They play together and celebrate each other's birthdays. And every day, I am terrified for them. I am terrified that those kids will come home from school to a missing parent or be detained themselves like Liam Conejo Ramos, the 5-year-old currently in an ICE detention facility in Texas with his father. You've seen his photo, the little boy with the bunny hat and the Spider-Man backpack, the same Spider-Man backpack that Maggie wears to school every day. He and Maggie are the same age. Fortunately, a judge just ruled that they have to release Liam and his father, but we all know how this administration is with court orders, so fingers crossed that they actually follow this one, because that poor little kid is very sick. But sometimes the universe lines things up just right, And I feel like it's not a coincidence that ICE has been escalating their tactics and using now lethal force against activists who are trying to protect their communities, just as we hit the coldest part of the year. ICE thrives in winter. Fortunately, the spring thaw is near, so today, for our service, I thought we would do a group ritual where we will melt some ice. First, we are going to do our kind of opening ceremonies. So I'm going to call on my 4 readers to please stand, and we'll read our invocation to the 4 corners. Spirit of life, you speak to us from the east.
And the west. To us from the north. And south.
You call to us from the depths of our being.
We respond with enthusiasm and fervor. We cry out from Manila to Maui. We shout from Alaska to Alabama.
We proclaim your wondrous love from the highest mountain to the deepest ocean. Our voices must be heard. We shall not be silent. Our voices must be heard. Please stand as you're willing and able as we light the chalice. The words should be in your order of service. It is a call and response, so you will read the italicized portion. Rick, do you want to actually light it and I'll lead the reading? Thank you. In times of darkness, we stumble toward the tiny flame. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth. In times of joy, we light a candle of celebration.
Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us find what we need this day.
And our usual affirmation, love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer.
To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we begin, we'll take a few minutes for each of us to share the joys that lift our hearts and the concerns that weigh heavy on our spirits so that we may enter this circle unburdened. I'd like to start with a candle of joy for Reverend Danielle, who joined clergy from various faith traditions across the country in Minnesota to stand in solidarity and protest all of the ICE stuff going on in Minnesota. She went, she protested, and she came back safe and sound.
I have a whole bunch of cousins, and one of them finally had a baby. And so we welcomed Chloe to the family as of yesterday.
Welcome, Chloe. Yes.
My wife's cousin's boyfriend suddenly died about a week and a half ago. He was 49,
What was his name?
Tim.
Tim. Hopefully this is a big comeback for them. Any others? Last call. All right, one last one for all those that we are not ready to share. So we will take a few minutes to meditate on the candles of joy and concern that we lit and any other joys and concerns that are weighing us down. Maddie will play some nice contemplative music, and then when we're ready to move on, I will guide you out of it. Between two words, choose the quieter one. Between word and silence, choose listening. Between two books, choose the dustier one. Between earth and sky, choose a bird. Between two animals, choose the one who needs you more. Between two children, choose both. Between the lesser and the bigger evil, choose neither. Between hope and despair, choose hope. It will be harder to bear. We can't make spring come any faster. That's not up to us. That's Mother Nature's business. But we can do our own rituals to kind of affect the energies of the universe, if that's something you believe in. And if not, it can at least stand for something symbolic in your life. Before we do our ice melting ritual, we're going to do a fun one with the kids that's more of a science experiment than anything else. So we're going to do a couple of things that will make ice melt faster. So first, what is ice? Any of you kids know? What is it?
Frozen water.
That's right, it's frozen water. Do you know what temperature the water freezes at? Jaden? 32. Yeah, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you know what the temperature is outside right now? A lot less than 32. I can tell you that. Hang on, Maggie. Was anybody's front walkway or driveway icy this morning when you woke up? Did your parents put anything down on your driveway to make the ice melt faster? Yeah. Yeah. Salt, that's right. Sometimes it's salt, sometimes it's like a weird blue chemical looking thing. Sometimes it's those pellets that I don't like. But there's a bunch of different ways that you can speed up the melting of salt. There's three kind of main ways you can do it. First, you can apply an external source of heat, like fire or hot water, or you can put an ice cube in a sunny window. That will help it melt faster. The second thing you could do is add something to the ice that lowers the freezing temperature of the water. So ice freezes at 32, and if you add something like rock salt to it, that changes the water, so now it will freeze closer to 20 degrees. So it melts it if it's not below 20 degrees outside. So if you've been salting and it's not working, that's why it's too cold. The other thing you could do is add something to it that causes an exothermic reaction, which means a chemical reaction that generates heat. So that's what a lot of those chemical ice melts do, and that's why they work better at colder temperatures. Who was here a couple years ago when we did the vinegar and baking soda activity with the kids? Do you kids remember that one? You probably don't remember this, but when I said that you mix the baking soda and vinegar, it turns into salt and water. And that salt is not table salt, it's called sodium acetate. And that's the same stuff in those break and shake hand warmers that you can buy, especially the ones that you can boil to re-solidify and use again. When you break those, it generates that exothermic reaction, and that's why it makes heat. But that's the stuff, that's what you get when you mix vinegar and baking soda, is that stuff. So you can add that to ice, and as it dissolves, it will create that exothermic reaction and generate heat and help melt the ice. So I spent last night mixing all of the vinegar that I have with baking soda to make some of that sodium acetate. And I also have some salt, and I also have a heating pad. So the kids can pick which one they want to try. And I have little labels here. And you kids, if you want to decorate your label, you can, but definitely put your name on it. And then write on it which thing you're going to do. So if you're going to do heat, if you're going to do salt, or if you're going to do, we'll just call them the ice melt crystals, because they look like, I don't expect it's sodium acetate. Yeah. So you're going to write your name and which method you're going to choose, put it on a label, stick your label on a cup, and then you're going to take a single ice cube and a single scoop of one or the other, please don't do both, or you can just stick your cup on the heating mat. And we'll see at the end of the coffee hour which one's melting faster. And if a couple grown-ups want to help me with a control group, we'll do a couple cups with an ice cube, just with nothing, and that's something to compare against. All right, kids, so come and get a little label, grab a pen. If you are young, have a parent help you. Okay, Meg, you're gonna have that help you. Any adults want to do a control study? Stick your sticker on it first, because once there's stuff in your cup, you're not going to take your cup. Yeah, they're stickers. So take your sticker off and put it on your cup before you put anything in your cup. That's the cup, right? very much. You can feel it. It'll burn you. What, did you put your crystals in? Right. I'm just gonna set them down. If you put salt or crystals in, don't put it on the heat pad. After this, we're gonna write scientific paper and we're gonna submit it to the journal. Does anybody want to eat that? Alright, who wants to start the betting pool of what real fast?
Heating pad. Yeah, heating pad. Is that a steam heating pad?
Yes.
No. So knowing that temperature, yes.
Listen. Yeah, we'll leave it here, we'll see what happens, we'll check on it after. Yeah, we'll check on it after. Yeah, but each ice cube is only different size, I'm sure they're not scoop babies, exactly what it is, so take it with a grain of salt. That's okay. It's only, you know, it's, Right, so 3 salt, 3 crystals, 3 heat. And I'll put more control. Mess up our experiment. Hey, thanks, kiddos. I'm dying to see how this turns out. All right, where am I? All right, so the kids' stuff is done, and now we'll move on to ours. Here in New England, we know from generations of experience that winter is hard. We're always cold. Our bodies are using more resources to keep our basic vital functions functioning. We have to consume more calories to fuel all this extra work. We have to spend more money to heat our homes. We have to spend more time bundling up before walking outside. We have to exert energy to clear snow and melt ice so we can safely travel. It's exhausting and it's stressful. Winter is when we are most vulnerable, and that makes us easy targets. And as hard as winter is here in New England, it's even worse in the Midwest, where there's no ocean to moderate the weather. So it seems appropriate to me that ICE is ramping up things in the middle of January and now into February in one of the coldest areas of the country. ICE is cold, after all, cold, cruel, and unrelenting. Fortunately, the people of Minnesota were built for cold weather. They know that in times like these, the community must function together. New Englanders are built for cold weather too. Imbolc is a fire festival, and as you use, we light a chalice and candles and talk about the warmth of community and the fire of commitment. So I feel like as New England UUs, we are particularly well equipped to melt the ice. I'm a firm believer that there's no going back. Even if we could, why would we want to wind the seasons back just to arrive in the same conditions that caused all of these political problems in the first place? I think the only way out is forward. And there are some things we can do to get through it a little faster. There's things both magical and mundane. On the mundane side, we can keep showing up to protests. If nothing else, protesting in mass visually illustrates that the majority of people do not like what is happening. The people in support of the atrocities we are seeing truly believe that they're the majority. They believe that what they're doing is what's best for the country. And it is really hard to undo a belief system like that. But if they see with their own eyes that they are few and we are many, it may start to weaken their resolve. We can also keep the pressure on elected officials. Many of them are capitulating because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs. We need to remind them that our lives and their souls are more important, and we need to remind them that they work for us. We can keep an honest record of what is happening in communities like Minneapolis by filming, giving testimony, and spreading the word. More importantly, we can take care of each other. We can support the people who are being directly targeted. We can feed our neighbors who are afraid to go out in public to get groceries or go to work. We can run errands for them and escort their children to and from school. We can contribute to legal funds for their immigration cases. We can also support the activists who are standing in harm's way. We can send money that provides food and medical supplies, covers legal fees, bail funds, and lost wages. We can care for their families while they're on the streets. In that effort, we're taking 2 collections today. The first collection is going to be to support the people of Minnesota. The funds collected in the first collection will be split between the Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota, which provides free legal assistance for immigration cases, and the Minneapolis Families Mutual Aid Fund, which provides money for groceries, housing, legal fees, and more. These were recommended by Reverend Danielle. Like I said, she was there on the ground with other faith leaders. And she said that a lot of the people that are out protesting, they're doing that, risking their jobs, risking their lives. So they need support. The families that they are protecting are basically trapped in their homes. So these 2 funds will go and support that effort. So I'm going to send one bowl around. So this first collection is for the people in Minnesota who are in the thick of it. And this next one is our regular collection that pays for our heating bills that are gonna be very high. Spirit of truth. Please stand as you're willing and able, sorry, as we sing Spirit of Truth and dedicate our gifts. Thank you. You may sit now. So we covered some mundane things that we can do, but we also have our magic. The kids kicked off a ritual of melting ice, which for them is just a fun science experiment. But in that same vein, we can do our own ice melting rituals and lend our energy and our warmth to the cause. For those of us who use magic as part of our spiritual practice, rituals like this can help manipulate the energies that connect us all to the larger universe to effect change. For those of us who do not use magic in the spiritual practice, you can still do this as a symbolic gesture. Even if you don't believe in magic, doing something like this in solidarity with the cause still helps in its own way. So what I did, I prepared it last night. I took some herbs for protection, healing, and peace, mostly cloves, star anise, cinnamon, lavender, basically mulling spices is pretty much what's in it. And I added the lavender and some bay leaf. And I put it in that bowl and I stuck it outside and let it freeze overnight. If you wanted to do this at home, tonight's a good night because it's a full moon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ice and we're gonna put it over heat source and we're just gonna let it melt. And as it melts, it will release all of those protective and healing and peaceful energies that are frozen inside it. And then instead of reciting something while we do this, I'm gonna have us sing a Mexican folk song. It is actually a hymn in our hymnal. I'm pretty sure I wrote the wrong number in the order of service. It is number 305. It's called De Colores. And I chose it because, one, it's easy. Even if you don't know Spanish, it's pretty easy Spanish. The first 3 verses are in English, so you'll get to learn the melody first. But I chose it because it's in a language of many of the people who are being targeted by ICE. I also chose it because it speaks of springtime and the many colors that appear once winter ends. And it's also a song about hope and freedom, so it checks all the boxes. Like I said, it's very easy. I'm gonna light this candle, then we'll sing together. A quick note about the music. The chorus, we are actually gonna repeat because that's how it's supposed to be sung and the hymnal is wrong. And I'll let Maddie explain that while I light the candles.
All right, so hymnal 305, at the very end, so you'll notice this is a 3-pager. At the very end, you'll see the words, all the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. That gets repeated twice. The melody sounds like all the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. And so we'll sing that again. So if you want to join me. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. Beautiful. So we're doing that twice every time. And we're going to go back to the beginning. Normally, I would do a sing through myself, but I think this is one that everyone can catch on to. So we're going to start off. If you have a little bit of trouble with the first verse, just join us in the second verse. So again, in 305, at the very top. All the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors, in the sunlight, in the clouds and showers. All the colors, as the rainbow appears in the all the colors around for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors around for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. Beautiful. Second verse. All the colors, yes, the colors of people parading on high with their banners. All the colors, yes, the colors of pennants and streamers and plumes and bandanas. All the colors, yes, the colors of people now taking their place in the sun. All the colors around for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. Third verse. All the colors, yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors of people who smile and shake hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people who know that their freedom is won. All the colors around for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors around for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. Now we're going to do the last verse, which is in Spanish. So please try to join us. It's okay if we all get lost. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen de fuera. De colores está la flores que debemos lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Gracias.
If someone with courage and vision can rise to lead in a nonviolent action, the winter of despair can, in the twinkling of an eye, be turned into the summer of hope. It is possible to live in peace. Nonviolence is not a garment to put on and off at will. Its seat is at the heart, and it must be an inseparable part of our being. It is possible to live in peace. Nonviolence, which is a quality of the heart, cannot come by an appeal to the brain. It is a plant of slow growth, growing imperceptibly, but surely. It is possible to live in peace. If we are to reach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, we shall have to begin with the children. It is possible to live in peace. The future depends on what we do in the present. It is possible to live in peace. Please stand as you're willing and able, and join me in reciting the words found in your order of service as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. This we know, the earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. This we know, all things are connected. Like the blood that unites one family, all things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the children of the earth. We did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Go now in peace, and blessed be. You may sit. Maddie's going to play music. We'll have snacks. We'll watch the ice melt.
Love the wrong music. Would you like to? Oh, here we go. You see my problem? I know, right? Merry Christmas.